welcome everyone. It's good to see uh, this audience with lots of old friends. I noticed that there are several people today who have not been here before, and there was some question about what this series is about. So I just take a minute before I introduce Partho, our speaker, to explain that this series was started surprisingly now about 4 years ago. I never imagined that it could possibly continue for so long, because it was started as an exercise about 5, 6 years ago amongst architects to sit together and to 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 discuss their problems of the profession and things like that, and outside the kind of not the practical problems of everyday profession, but rather larger issues of the profession. And after a while, people felt that it wasn't just enough to sit together and exchange notes about what was wrong with things or not, and that we ought to invite people to speak. I just wanted to say that then as a result, we decided that we would have architecture and society as a theme, and we'd have one every month, and we'd ask people, and we've had a lot of young academics, a lot of not just architects, a lot of people from the arts and humanities who have come in and have actually given a talk. And surprisingly, we've had now, this is I think the 47th or 48th talk. So that means 4 years, huh? 12 into 4 is, 4 years. And which is quite surprising.
Yeah, very nice.
No, we can clap for them. But clap for the audience that the people actually turn out. And which means that even society, civil society is rather concerned about architecture. So, surprise, surprise. Should be, but surprising to know that. I mean, that's why the Architects Act was set up, to protect civil society from the profession, actually. So, to regulate the profession, thank goodness they haven't been able to regulate it, like most things in our country, unregulatable. So, but having said that, I want to introduce Partho Datta, who's been very kind to come today and tell us about his researches into the work of Patrick Geddes, which has, I think, of great significance to the profession and, in fact, to our understanding of cities. But I will not say anything further. Partho teaches at the JNU in the Department of Art and Aesthetics, is that what it's called, and has been a friend of the series. He's come and attended many of the talks, but I haven't spoken before for us. So I welcome Partho, and I will leave him now to give you his talk.
So thank you, Professor Ganju, for inviting me to this talk. And a month ago, I just heard a wonderful talk in this series by the architect Swati Janu, and she was talking about working with artisanal communities in Delhi, some of whom actually live under flyovers and building housing units for them. And at the end of the talk, somebody in the audience said, these small little efforts that you make, does it really matter in the end? Because it doesn't change anything. So that's a question, and I think it has some affinities to Geddes, because what I'm going to argue and what I'm going to say is that Geddes always promoted and talked about the small scale in planning and architecture. That's one thing that I want all of you to keep in mind. Now, Geddes, so let me just tell you, it's very difficult when I was preparing this talk that, I don't know why I gave this title, because it's a bit mouthful. The point is, obviously I can't tell you everything about Geddes. I've been interested in Geddes for a long time. And so this is a sympathetic account of Geddes. You could also do a critical account of Geddes. So this is not a critical account. And it's sympathetic because I think he was an important thinker. He certainly critiqued mainstream planning, and he certainly provided alternatives. If we look at him critically, then we know that some of his ideas have become outdated. Some of his models don't work. He was very scatty. He wrote lots of reports, most of which people don't read any longer. They are actually quite difficult to read. He wrote one book in his life, beginning of the First World War, called Cities in Evolution, 1915. So he wrote it just before the First World War was there. It's completely unreadable, and it's very turgid, and so one really has to look for just really, so it's quite a difficult job actually getting it all together. Anyway, but let me try and present. Yeah, I do want to say that, and just want to acknowledge that I had 25 years ago when I began my PhD on urban planning, I hadn't even heard of Geddes. And the person who introduced me to Geddes was my teacher, Professor Narayani Gupta, who is here. I just, because she's always enthused about Geddes, and that's one of the reasons I followed it. The other person who has written very interestingly on Geddes and still enthuses about him is the historian and author Ramachandra Guha. I don't know if he's written a couple of essays which are certainly worth reading. And also in Delhi, although I don't know him personally, Professor Shiv Vishwanathan has also written some excellent essays on Geddes, and I've drawn on it. That's why I wanted to tell you this right in the beginning. Okay, so let's have a look at what Geddes. So that's Patrick Geddes for you. It's a picture and you can see his dates. So he's very much a 19th century man. His ideas came from the late part of the 19th century. He died in 1932. It's important for us because between 1914 and 1924, intermittently for 10 years, he was in India. So that's why I find it's particularly relevant for Indian planning. I want to flag two things right in the beginning. One is that he was Scottish. This is very important because, so therefore he was anti-British. He was anti-imperialist. He was very sympathetic to Indian nationalists. That is, you must keep this in mind. He was, he had lots of Indian friends. He wrote the biography of the Indian scientist Jagadish Bose. Rabindranath Tagore was a great friend. And he came to India with great expectations. The second thing, and this is certainly important since there are so many architects and planners present here, he was a biologist and he was a sociologist. He was not an architect or a urban planner in the sense that we think about it today. Please keep this in mind, because this is one of the reasons why Geddes has fallen out of the map is precisely, I think, because of this. But I'll talk about this in some detail a little more. Okay. By one count, he wrote 40 town plans for India. Most of them are inaccessible now. It's a little misleading. You can see I've made a list here for you, not all the 40 obviously. I haven't read all the 40 either. But it's a little misleading because some of these reports were only 2 pages. Some of them were 2 fact volumes, particularly his famous Indore report. Luckily, this Indore report has come out in an edition now. Not one, but 2 editions have come out. One from England and one from somebody called, I don't know him personally, Abhilash Khandekar from Indore has republished the famous Indore report.